Hey legends, welcome to day 2 of the 2026 Kickoff Challenge. Hope you are doing good. So, hey, just a little recap. Yesterday in day 1, we talked about the internal game, the external game, how to deal with the different internal battles that you're going to be dealing with, but also the watch me principle for the external battles as well. Now, day 2, 3, and 4, we're going to really focus on skill set. Now that we've got the foundation of the mindset, now we're going to go into skill set. And today, the idea is about something that you might find very, very boring. But for those of you who are struggling because you need clarity, this is going to help. So Tony Robbins, he has this thing called the 6 human needs, right? And it's certainty, uncertainty, which is variety, significance, love and connection, growth and contribution. To me, certainty in the network marketing kind of version of this is clarity. There are many people out there, the majority of people, who need absolute clarity. You need to know what to do next before you take action. There are some people who like variety, where they're like, oh my God, like I kind of like the idea of like it kind of being a bit of a mess and me just doing it and figuring it out, right? So I'm going to really kind of focus in on this. Now, before we do that, remember, if you don't already know, because maybe you missed day 1, number 1, I got sick, so if I sound a little bit like, then that's why, but I had no choice to do the videos, so we're cracking on. Very, very difficult to go, oh, sorry guys, we're postponing the challenge to 15,000 people. So I've got to just step up. One person steps up, right, for 15,000 people. Kind of a good deal, I guess. So when the timer around this video hits 0, this video is gone forever. We'll just automatically go on to day 3, unless you have the action pass. Now, the action pass is 3 main things. Number 1, lifetime recordings to this, right? So what you're seeing right now, you'll get access to the 5 videos for life, right? For lifetime access. The second thing is on Friday, the 30th of January, we're going to be doing a live Q&A session, Friday, 6 p.m. UK time. We will also record that so that you've got access to the recordings as well. And the third thing is my favorite. It's the 30-day run, which we're starting on February the 2nd. So February the 2nd, when you join, you get added into a Telegram group where I will be sharing Monday to Friday daily action steps in a very positive environment with some group accountability as well. So I'm going to be asking you for a certain number of things, which you'll get an idea of what they are after this video, and you're going to let me know what they are, and then we're going to move forward and we're going to celebrate people as and when they get the results based on the action that they took. All right, so today I want to introduce you to a concept of 2 things, right? Because you need these 2 things. Let me show my screen. All right, the first one is you need a set of repeatable basics. I often say that basics better more often. You want to win? Do the basics better more often. One of my favorite quotes is from a guy called Nathan Ricks, who was one of the legends of a billion-dollar company, made millions and millions and millions in network marketing commissions, and turned it into a small fortune, actually a gigantic fortune. He used to say this, and please write this down if you're making notes. Make $1 million my way, and then go make $1 million your way. And you can just really think about that for a moment. Make $1 million your way, and then, my way, and then go make $1 million your way. Guess what happens when you follow the system that's already helped make many, many people millions of dollars, and then you make millions of dollars yourself? You don't want to change the system, but the system has to work, right? And in order for a system to work, it has to be simple. Why? Simple scales, fancy fails. So if you've got a 32-step system, it isn't going to work. It's not going to work. If you've got a 22-step system, it's not going to work. You know the system works if, when you're saying it, people in the team chip in and chime in, and it feels like you are singing a song. Now, I'll give you an example of this. I have a friend. He's been in one company for almost 45 years. Imagine that, being with one company for almost 45 years. And it's kind of crazy that I was asking him, like, what do you feel is the secret to your success? And he said, Frazer, me and my team, every day, without fail, we follow our system. And the system is a set of repeatable basics, like personal development and growing your list and all that. And I want to break it down because these are the skills that if you master, you will win. I have no doubt about it because I've helped people do the same thing. All right? Okay, so what are they? Number one, conversations. The question is, are you having conversations with new people every day? Are you? Because if you're not, how can you expect to grow? All business is conversation. Conversation keeps you in business, all right? Number two, invitations. The art of inviting someone. In order to win the fight for your freedom, you have to learn how to invite. Now, already, the conversations could take an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, but an invitation can take 20 seconds. Think about it. How long do you spend having conversations? And how long do you actually spend inviting someone? You probably spend more time thinking of what to send in the invitation than you actually do the invitation. Because the invitation goes something like this. Hey, Mary, just curious. In fact, I'm going to time it just so we've got it. Are you ready? Stopwatch. Hey, Mary, just curious. Would you be open to checking out some information on a game-changing system to make money online? No worries if not. I just thought I'd ask. Under 10 seconds. Oh, I don't have the time to build my business. You don't have the time to be having conversations with everyone, but you definitely have time to be inviting people. Right? Number three, presentations. Now, this is the art of giving someone a present or being present when you give the presentation, all right? There's secrets here, right? So here's what I would say about the presentation. It could take you less than a second because all you're doing is you're sending a link to a video, which is a recorded presentation, and you're not even doing it. It's leveraging someone else. However, as I'm going to talk about a little bit later, that is also dangerous. You have to still learn the skill of presentation and the skill of presenting, because one day when you have a team, they're going to ask you to do the presentation and you're going to go, I can't do it. All right. And number four, the art of continuations. Now, the art of, or the skill of continuations is the art of continuing a conversation, right? The art of continuing a conversation. So many people get scared once they have a conversation and they invite and then they present. What the heck do I say next? Because you've got the fear of rejection. I'm going to help you with this. I figured something out very early in my career that allowed me to keep things super simple. And you know what? One thing you might hear over the next 5 days is you might feel something like this. But Frazer, you make it sound so easy, or you make it sound so simple. It's because it is. I keep it simple because I know the more complicated it is, the worse it's going to be. And hey, I know I could come on here and say, right, guys, over the next 5 days, I'm going to introduce you to the most complicated system in the world that will get you 100 team members every single month. And you'll be like, ooh, and then you hear how complicated it is and you're like, oh my God, no, I'm not going to do that, right? We don't do what works, we do what duplicates, okay? And duplication comes from simplicity, establishing who on the team is prepared to do the simple steps. Okay, so let's just talk about this for a minute, right? When it comes to conversations, what you've got to really build the skill of is, where do you find people? That's a skill, right? Think about it. Everything else outside of these 4 things you could say is a waste of time, right? In order to progress your business. Think about it in a different way. If you could only get your team to do 5 things and 5 things only, what would they be? I would hope it would be have conversations, invitations, presentations, and continuations. The last one, the bonus one, would be self-leadership, right? Self-leadership is the art of leading yourself so that you're able and capable of helping someone else or leading someone else to lead themselves, right? That starts with personal development, okay? So, conversations. Where do you find people? It's a skill. First and foremost, you want to know, who do you actually want to find? Oh, I want to find everyone. Okay, that's a big problem, right? Because you shouldn't want to try and find everyone. You should try and find who is like you. Did you know that you are the most qualified person to help the person who you used to be? I'll say it again. Did you know that you are the most qualified person to help the person who you used to be? Because you've already gone through the chapter that they've got to write themselves. You've already gone through it. You know what they're going to write on that page. They say, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 5. You've already been in chapter 1, right? So anyway, what makes up you. And we're going to talk about that, I think maybe tomorrow. So where do you want to find people? Okay. Second one is how to start the conversation. Okay. And then the third one is how to transition. I'm just going to write it like that. How to transition. If you know where to find people and you know how to start a conversation and you know how to move it from chit chat into an invitation, you're going to absolutely crush it. Now, chances are you already know these three things. And if you don't, I'll tell you right now. Where to find people? Social media. Facebook, Instagram. Those are your main two, right? If you're under 40, probably Instagram. If you're over 40, probably Facebook. Now, that's not a definite range, right? But it's roughly, okay? So find them in Facebook groups or in the comment section on Instagram posts or the explore page or ads that you like that other people have commented on, right? There's loads of places you can find people. I'm not going to go into all that specifics because it's not relevant because you probably already got people on your list that you haven't spoken to yet because the internal game and the external game. How do you start a conversation with someone? Very, very simple. 3-part framework. Hey, name, how you found them, and then ask a question. Example. Hey, Bob, saw you post in a Chow Chow dog lovers group. What are they like with kids? Thinking of getting one. What are they like with kids? That's it. Oh, but Frazer, it's weird. It's so weird messaging and speaking to strangers. Great. Go and ask the CFO of your company how weird it is that you're paying people who are building a business from home in their pajamas and they're earning tens of thousands of dollars every single week from doing so. Yep, that's weird. You've got to do the weird work to get the weird number on your commission check. And if you're still not convinced, go and ask your dad if you're able to. Hey, Dad, you know my mum? He goes, yeah, of course I know your mum. Well, before you met her, did you know her? No, of course not. Ta-da. Right? The most magical things and the most miraculous things in these worlds happen when two strangers collide and connect. Right? You wouldn't be here if your dad didn't meet your mum. And maybe your dad got anxious, but a little bit excited. He was nervous, but super fired up. Right? Wonderful things happen. And then how to transition. How to transition is you making a decision. You making a decision of, oh my God, I really think that I could work well with this person. I really think that I could help this person. I really think that I could add value to this person. That's a decision, right? That's a decision. Like, bam, it can be done in an instant. And you should really make that decision on everyone you're speaking to. Now think about it this way, right? If you find the people who are like you, and then you start a conversation in a way that you would like someone to start a conversation with you, then the conversation should flow so that you make a decision that, well, I would love to work with this person. Okay? That's a conversation. Hey, I'm sorry. I keep pausing the video and coughing my lungs out. It's an aggressive cough and I don't really want any of you to get sick just by watching it. It's that bad. All right. So anyway, let's go into the invitation. Now, let me tell you a story real quick on this one. So when I was younger, I think it was either the year 2000 or year 2001. I think it was 2001. I was 13 years old. And a movie called Gladiator came out with Russell Crowe. Funnily enough, one of our friends, Lorraine, over in Australia, she's probably watching this right now. She was the personal trainer to Russell Crowe in that movie, right? Because she won a show called Gladiators over in Australia. And she's a network marketer. Shout out to Lorraine, right? So my dad comes into my bedroom and he says, Frazer, I really want to go watch the movie Gladiator. And I'm like, Dad, I can't. It's rated 15. I'm 13. And he said, what's your birthday? I said, 28th of March, 1988. He said, no. What's your birthday if you would be 15? And I said, 28th of March, 1985. 28th of March, 1985. 28th of March, 1985. He said, great. If they ask you that, tell them that. Right? I said, okay. We get in the car a few hours later. We drive to the cinema. And we go to the desk and say, hey, 2 tickets for Gladiator. The guy looks at me, looks at my dad, and gives us the 2 tickets, popcorn, all that shabazz. We go to the guy who then takes the ticket to tell us where to go. He looks at my dad, he looks at me and goes, excuse me, son, how old are you? And I say, 15. He said, what's your birthday? I said, 28th of March, 1985. 28th of March, 1985. 28th of March, 1985. And my dad, he looks at my dad, he looks at me, really confused, and my dad goes, oh, yeah, he does that. It's a thing. And the guy was like, okay, come on through. We're sat in the cinema, lights go down, movie starts playing. Halfway through, this guy, he's huge, he almost fills the entire screen, comes on holding a sword and a shield. And my dad at the top of his voice goes, oh my God, he's a network marketer. I'm like, shh, Dad, shut up, shut up. People are like making noise. Like, who was that? Who was that? The guy with his torch with the popcorn's like, hey, who was that? Who was that? And my dad is shaking in his seat. He can't believe it. I said, Dad, if you don't shut up, they're going to find out that I'm not 15 and I'm going to go put in prison. I'm going to get put in prison. I don't fancy that. He's like, oh, okay. Watch the rest of the movie. We leave the cinema, get in the car. I turn to my dad and say, come on then, Dad. Why was he a network marketer? He said he was a gladiator and he had a sword and a shield. The sword represents the invite. If you don't invite, you won't win the fight. But what happens when you fight with someone? They fight back. And most people aren't skilled with the art of handling the objection. The shield is the objection. So whenever we're inviting, a lot of people, they don't make the decision to send the invitation, which takes 10 seconds to make, because they're afraid of what happens if they say no in form of objections, or what if they say yes? Now, I know it might not be so obvious, but a lot of people think, hang on a minute, at this stage, I'm in this business on my own, which means I fend for myself, I attend the events on my own, I do everything on my own, I've got no stress because I've got no team. Yes, I'm not making the money that I want to make, but I don't really know what to do if I lead. If I have someone say yes, now I've got to tell them about the event. Now I've got to bring them to the event. Do I pay for the hotel room or do they? Do we go to the event in my car or in their car? Like, does that mean I have to do my own team trainings? A lot of people, they hold them back from getting the yes because they're scared because they don't know what the next step is. It's also known as clarity. So in order to win the fight of your freedom, you are going to have to invite and you're going to have to protect yourself. And please understand that there is no gladiator in the world who's won their freedom, who hasn't got a scar, a bruise, or a cut to prove it. You're going to get hurt. It's part of the process. And it's the people who are prepared to understand the more I get hurt, the stronger I get. The stronger I get, the better I'll get. The better I'll get, the more success that I'll get. Right? That's why the most successful people in the world are usually the people who have the most hate. In fact, if you're dealing with haters right now, understand, number one, big congratulations. And number two, haters are your elevators. Okay, so you invite someone. So you find someone where, we've talked about it, how, you have a conversation, and then you transition, right? And you make a decision. The decision is then now you move on to the invitation. It's, hey, just curious, would you be open to checking out some more information on a game-changing system to make more money online? No worries if not, just thought I would ask. Understand it's a system, not a product or a business. Systems are sexy. They say no. Well, now you learn how to deal with objections. Or they say yes. Now, when you're dealing with objections, I'm not going to be able to go through it today. There's lots of content out there on my YouTube channel that you can go and find on objection handling. But really, it's understanding to hold the mirror again. Remember what we talked about in day one, holding the mirror, right? If someone is going to come at you and say, oh, I don't have the time, give them the mirror. How does that make you feel? And they'll tell you everything you need to know. Oh, I don't have the money. How does that make you feel? And they'll tell you everything you need to know. A lot of people give objections as excuses to avoid conflict. Woo. A lot of people, they give you excuses to avoid conflict. Meaning they don't want to tell you, no, I think this is a scam. They'd rather say, oh, timing's not right now, right? Timing's not so good for me right now. Yes and no will build your business. Maybe will kill your business. Maybe I'll think about it. I'll let you know. Because you start thinking, oh my God, that's a yes. They're going to join. 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 And they never do. And it stops you from going out there and recruiting other people because you're waiting to get this person launched correctly. Right? Happens all the time. I've seen it a million times before. Maybe not a million times before, but a lot. All right? Now, when someone says yes, you then need to qualify. Here's the thing, right? If you guys were all in the room with me, I'd be able to do this with you. But think about it this way. If I joined your team and we did a call together to discuss the next steps, what's one thing you want to know about me? You want to find my that makes me cry, right? You want to find the thing that hurts me most. You want to find my why, right? Why that makes me cry. Why stands for what hurts you, right? That's what you want to find. What if I could show you a way how you could find out the why before you even joined? Because would you agree that finding out the why gives you leverage? Because if I've joined your team and you say to me, what's your why? And I say, I do not want to be away from my kids anymore. And then I'm having a bit of a downturn or a dip in my business and I'm like, I think I'm going to quit. You would turn to me and say, hey, if you quit, what's the alternative vehicle to get you out of that job that you hate that keeps you away from your family all the time? And it makes me go, all right, I'm going to give it another shot. So we have conversations, we invite someone, they say yes, then we're going to say, hey, before I send the information over to you, why? Why are you interested in finding out more about making money online? Why are you interested in finding out more about how to improve your skincare? Why would you want more information about how you can lose weight? Why do you want to know more information about a system that can help you travel more for less? Like, why? They tell you. The deeper the root, the sweeter the fruit. Meaning, if you just get yes, you're planting the seeds on the surface. What does that mean? The birds think it's bird food. They come, they grab it, they take it away, and you come back the next day to nurture it, and it's gone. Therefore, you've been ghosted. Instead, you ask why, so you dig a hole. You ask why again, you dig a deeper hole. You ask why again, you dig a real deep hole. You plant the seed in there. The birds can't get them. You'll never get ghosted because you've talked something emotional. All right? Now, the presentation. There's an amazing saying in network marketing. Don't be a fool, use a tool. But I'm actually going to help you with something here, which I think will help you in the long term. Don't be a fool, use a tool, but don't rely on the tool. Otherwise, you'll become a fool. Now, the reason why I tell you this, I never used to think this, but it's changed recently. And there's good reason for it. Since COVID happened, more and more people have stopped doing one-on-one mentorship with people. And they've also relied on the tools too much. So they're not learning the words. Now, I should be able to say to you, let's say that I'm in your company and I was going to do a presentation in front of 1,000 guests. And all of a sudden my throat started hurting, I've got a fever, and my cough is like really, really bad that people are going to go, this guy's promoting success and he's struggling himself. I should be able to point to anyone in the audience and say, Mary, can you do it? And you go, yeah! And you're not only like thrilled to do it, but you're going to absolutely crush it. Why? Because you know the words. Think about your favorite song. If I was to get you to sing your favorite song in front of 1,000 people, yes, you're going to be a little bit nervous. But when you start singing, you'll get into the flow and people will be cheering you on and you'll feel so great, right? So when I say you've got to be present for the presentation, if you're sending the link to the presentation, watch it too. Like if you're sending, hey, here's a link to a 7-minute presentation, you watch it too. It's a 30-minute presentation, watch it yourself as well. You get someone to go to the event in person, go with them and pay attention and make notes on what they're saying, where they're standing, how they're acting, how they're dressing, where they're looking, where they're pausing. Study it so much, repeat it so much that you know the words word in, word out. Mia, my eldest, she turned 3 years old like 3 weeks ago. She likes this book called The Gruffalo. For those of you who've got kids, maybe you've heard of it before. And now I've read it to her 5 times a day, maybe 10 times a day. And now it's been like maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks of me reading her that book. Now I'm telling her, finish the sentence, right? The little brown mouse walked through the deep dark. She says, wood, right? The fox saw the mouse and the mouse looked and she says, good. Woo, I'm struggling. All right. So repetition is the key, right? Confidence comes from experience, which comes from action, which comes from belief, which comes from confidence. To get the confidence, you need the experience. To get the experience, you need to take action. To get the action, you need to get belief. And the confidence will give you more belief. So you just have to do it. And the first few presentations you do, you're going to suck. They're going to be so bad. But I promise you, you'll get better. And then continuation. Continuation is the art of continuing a conversation. How do you continue a conversation? Know the why. Think about it. Someone says to you, yeah, I'm interested. You say, why? Because I don't like my job. Why don't you like your job? My boss does my head in. Why does your boss do your head in? Because because he will stop me from taking time off work to go spend time with my family, whatever that might be. So instead of me then continuing a conversation on, so, what did you like best? So, what did you think? So, do you see how this could work for you? And they then think about the points of the presentation. Instead, I want to talk to them about the emotional side. So, do you see this system as a way for you to get away from that boss that you don't like? Do you see this system as a way for you to finally lose those few pounds that you need in order to fit into your wedding dress? Whatever it might be. Why? People don't buy Ferraris because of the engine. People don't buy the Ferraris because of how fast it is. People don't buy the Ferraris because of how big the rims on the tires or the wheels are. People buy the Ferrari so that they think about when they see their friends next and they park alongside them, their friends are going to go, whoa, Steve, what the heck? How did you get that? And you go, yeah, I know. Did good, hey? It's that pyramid thing that I told you to watch me do. Hey, watch me. All right? So these are the four, and obviously the fifth bonus one is self-leadership, which is just something that you should do anyway. Okay? Now the second, and again, repeatable basics. You do this every day. Remember yesterday I talked about the reset button? I'm overwhelmed, there's so much to learn. Beep. Start a conversation. Where do you find them? How do you find them? How do you transition, which is a decision, right? Invite, present, continue. That's all you got to do. The second thing, really, really quickly, is something that I call a PRT week. So in order that the skill, and this is skill set, right? So yesterday was mindset, and the next 3 days are skill set. If we've got a repeatable basics, a perfect, repeatable, trackable week is, okay, I've got 10 hours. How many hours am I going to spend doing conversations? How many hours am I going to spend doing invitations? How many hours am I going to spend giving presentations? And how many hours am I going to spend continuations? And how many hours am I going to spend, obviously, personal development? Now, that's a perfect, repeatable week. A trackable week is then, okay, that's the time. So, that's the time that I've got. So we've got the time. But also, track. So let's say we've got conversations, invitations, presentations, continuations. I'm going to do 3 hours of conversations, 1 hour of invitations, 4 hours of presentations, 1 hour of conversations, for a total of 9 hours, right? For example. Now, track. In the 3 hours of conversations that I did, how many conversations did I start with new people? I did 14. Okay. And in the 1 hour that you did of inviting, how many people did you invite? Oh, I invited 7. 7 people in 1 hour? What the heck were you doing? The presentations. In 4 hours, how many presentations did you do? I did 4. Okay, one hour per presentation. I see that. And then in 1 hour that you said you were going to do continuations, how many people did you continue a conversation with? 0. Because if you know what a perfect, repeatable, trackable week is, your mentor, your upline can help you. Show me the numbers and I'll change your future. Show me your numbers and I'll tell your future. Right? If your numbers are, I don't know, or a lot, or not enough. If you ever say those 3 things, like how many people did you speak to last week? Not enough. None. I don't know. A lot. These are all bad answers. You need to know, I spoke to 32 people last week. I invited 12 of them. I did a presentation with 2 of them, and I continued the conversation with those 2 people. I've got a pipeline. People don't quit when they've got a full pipeline. You help people get a full pipeline, and then you help those people convert the people in the pipeline. Okay? So, tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go through how you can create a social media strategy to be able to have more conversations, because if you look at this, everything's downstream from conversations. If you have 1,000 conversations, the invitation is just a decision. The presentation is just to the people who say yes. The continuation is for the people who say yes to the presentation. If you have no conversations, then you're screwed. So tomorrow, we're going to get into some action. I'm going to give you the social media strategy that's going to help you have more conversations than ever before. If you are loving this content and you do not want it to end after the 5 days, make sure you get the access pass. If you don't know what the access pass is, the action pass gets you full access to these recordings. So guess what? You can repeat the repeatable basics. You shouldn't go try and read 1,000 books once. You should read one book 1,000 times, or attend a series of trainings 1,000 of times so it becomes yours. Right? That's what I get the most blessings with. When I see other people on stage at other company events and different events around the world teaching and sharing my stuff, and it sounds like I've just said it because they've heard it a million times before. All right? So you get access to the recordings. You're going to get access to the live Q&A that we're going to do on Friday, 6 p.m. UK time, and the recording of that as well. And then the 30-day run that starts on Monday, the 2nd of February, where I'm going to give you daily action steps, Monday to Friday. We're going to have group accountability with basically these repeatable basics. I'm going to be asking you how much of these you did each day so that you will fall in love with the process of tracking. And then it's going to be in a very positive environment where everyone's cheering each other on no matter what company you're with. All right, so click the button around this video to go check out the action pass. Remember, when the timer hits 0, your opportunity has lost for you to watch this day 2, and you'll have to go on to day 3 and so on. And yeah, do not miss. Remember, do not miss day 3, 4, and 5. The content's only going to get better and better and better. That's my promise to you. All right. So with that being said, hope you have a great rest of your day. Hope you take action on what you've learned, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.